Today, we're going to be taking a look at an interesting SH Figuarts figure. This is the Android 21 from Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is a game that came out a little bit ago, a couple years ago at this point. And this is based off of Android 21, who I guess is based off of Dr. Giro's wife, which I don't remember her name. It was, I believe, in the superhero movie, though. So that's interesting, which also confirmed that Android 16 is based off of Giro's son. This is secondhand. This is a scary one to be secondhand. Back of the box, pictures, stuff like that. There it is. The box is a little dented in the front, unfortunately, which sucks because I do like having all the boxes. But as far as it goes, that is the box, so let's break her out. And upon opening the box, you are greeted by her tail, her hands, her faces, and a donut with a bite taken out of it. Intriguing. And Android 21 out of the box comes like this, but she has a port on her back, obviously, for her tail, which you shall add. In Android 21, I know nothing about this character. She is, other than the fact that she's Dr. Giro's android, I'm pretty sure she's like the kind of in-game guide or something like that. I don't know. This is her secondary form. Her other form, which I'll show here, does also have a figuart. But, yeah, this one was actually a lot cheaper, which is really weird, honestly. And I'm guessing this one is based off of Boo, if I were to guess. It does have a bit of yellowing, I'm noticing. Again, this is secondhand, so it's a little bit fine. I didn't actually pay that much for her. Realistically, kind of in the hip area, I've noticed it there. But, I mean, overall, I mean, she does look pretty good. It's like a Boo. The tail's kind of Frieza-ish. There's not really any cell to her, though. So it's not like she's going for the villains, I guess. And one thing I'm going to note right off the bat is she doesn't have fisted hands, which first figure I own without fisted hands. Actually baffling stuff, if I'm being honest. It's baffling. I mean, her overall design is really good. Her arms, I do like them. She kind of has like those like sleeves with the golden rings on, and then she has the whole little ring on her hand there. It's on her middle finger, which I don't know why I always do left. Left side's always been the weird one. For the legs, they are the baggy pants similar to what Boo would wear, which is why I'm saying she's based off of Majin Buu, and I do like that look. I think that's good. The torso is, yeah, there's not much going on there, is there? She just has basically a bra on. That's it. That's essentially all she got going on. Head sculpt-wise, most of it is hair, of course, and I mean, it does look pretty good. The hair, especially on the back where you have all the detailing, looks great. Kind of goes everywhere. Covers up everything, not that there's much going on her back, really, at all. Then there's the tail, and that is essentially it, honestly. There's not really much more to be said about her. Mine does have a loose kind of waist joint, which is a little weird. It's kind of loose. And I mean, it's just kind of you know? It's exactly what I was expecting. And I still think the design's kind of nice looking. It's still a very nice looking design. Though, I don't really know. Like, what is it? You know, it's basically just Boo. Honestly, it's like a female version of Boo. That's essentially what this is. Anyway, we'll get on to her accessories, where she has quite a few different ones, starting with the hands, of course. We have her kind of open hand that she has on here with the index finger kind of pointed. This one here with kind of a splayed out look like this. I don't know. I feel like that works. She's mewing. I don't know. Mewing? Is anyone still... Who cares about that? That's an old meme, right? That is one set of hands. And now we get into the weird stuff of the hands. We're going to talk about all of them at the same time because, well, she has too many hands, honestly, and they're all unique. She doesn't have a singular set of hands, which is a little bit intriguing. Starting off, we have a open grip, which is a right hand. The ones with the rings are left. The ones without are right. She has an open grip right, a key blast right hand, a pointing right hand, and then she has a kind of, like, almost looks like a slap or something. I don't know, type of right hand. And then for the other left hands, we have a grip hand. So she does actually have a set of hands. That's at least something. One set. And then we have a kind of relaxed hand. And then I don't know what the other hand would be for. Maybe the donut? It's a little strange. I want to say it probably is for the donut. Her hands are pretty pliable. So you can kind of get the donut in there. I'll put the picture up. But it's a bit strange, the hands. Like, she has a lot of them, but they're just kind of really odd hands. Faces, though, she does actually only have 3 alternates other than the one she currently has. She doesn't actually have, like, a true... This is the closest thing she has to a neutral, but she's still kind of smiling in it, and she's also looking right, which is a little different, because typically they look left. But yeah, she actually only has one face, I think, that actually is looking straight, and it's her kind of, like, maniacal laugh / yelling face. Anyway, there's the neutral face. After the neutral face, we kind of have this kind of smirk looking to the left. Honestly, looks like she might be eating the donut because the cheeks look a little more puffed out. So that's what I kind of think about that one. We then have a, like I said, the maniacal laugh yell face. That one's pretty good. And then we have a kind of very different one. She has blue eyes instead of her red, and the whites of her eyes are no longer black, but are very different. She almost looks like not evil-ish with that face, which is intriguing. And that's basically her accessory. She actually really doesn't come with a lot, honestly. She comes with a basic amount. The hands are weird, though. Just the fact she doesn't come with the basic ones. A key blast and 2 open grips. And then no fists is a kind of strange one. Her articulation, though, is pretty alright. Starting up with the head, she does have the typical ball joint up there. The hair does have a hinge, and it does have a rotation to it, so you actually can move it in various directions, getting some very different poses out of it. I like that a lot. It does move just enough, I think. She does have forward and back at the arms, outward swivel, a nice bend at the elbow. It's not a double, but it does go very far. Her hand articulation is very good. She doesn't really have a lot of restrictions on the joint, so she can move the hand up and around very well, along with the ball joint. At the torso, she does have a diaphragm joint. She does have the swivel, and like I mentioned, down at the waist, it's a bit loose. One thing I will complain about a little bit is this kind of panel here. It's kind of loose, so it kind of moves around a lot and kind of, like, just goes. I think a lot of the waist has to do with the hair because this is a very solid piece. Her tail is on a hinge, so it does move around up and down. And there's another hinge up here. I believe this literally is a Frieza tail. It might genuinely just be Frieza's tail. And looking up at it, it might just genuinely be his tail. I don't know. I think it might be. I'm not 100 on that. As far as the waist goes and everything, forward and back, outward, knees double jointed. She has the giant panel, though. The swivel is up at the thigh, at the feet. She does have a rotation. She doesn't have an ankle tilt, really. She kind of does. But it's one of those weird ones. Forward and back, and of course a toe bend. So she does have every bit of articulation you would expect. And honestly, it isn't that bad. Again, usually figures with, like, they don't have, like, the gi. I find, like, Goku and a lot of other figures. Like, Kefla is one that's, like, really posable because she doesn't have anything going on here to block it. Because typically, like, Goku's, they kind of have, like, the belt, or they have, like, that wrapping that typically blocks the diaphragm, or, like, they have a jacket. It's just something where they'll always be like that. Gotenks is the same way. Gotenks is very posable, where most are not. It just depends, right? And Gogeta. Why am I forgetting Gogeta's name? Of anybody, Gogeta. Just anyone who doesn't have, like, robes or anything on, it typically does not hinder the articulation. So she does move quite well, and I think she does look quite cool. But that's basically it for her. So let's just get to my final thoughts, which are, yeah, she's good. I mean, there's not a lot to miss here. I mean, she's probably one of the most random figures I own now. And she now just chills in the corner with Broly, eating her donut while he eats popcorn, watching Vegeta and Goku fight. I'm screwing everything up. It's an interesting time, I think. I don't think there's much wrong here. I think she's a pretty good pickup if you can get her for cheap. I didn't pay too much. I think I paid around retail, honestly. because there's no way she's a basic release figure. I think I paid like 100 exactly, which is pretty cheap for a figuart, honestly. Again, she was open. She doesn't seem to have any issues. I'm very scared of the wrists, though, because, again, I just don't trust wrists. I just don't do it. She does have a little bit of yellowing, like I said here, which is a bit of a shame, but what are you going to do? And that is essentially it for this figure. I'm going to give her... I'll give her a nice 4, I guess. A 4 will work. And there we have it. A 4 out of 5 for Android 21. This has been Ilt Elite signing out.